Good morning, everybody. Give me 1 second. Good morning, everybody. Oh, that's aggressive. Where to start? So much to start with. I got it up. I moved the one computer because someone said I'm turning my neck too much. That's why it was hurting. I don't know. I should be able to turn my neck, but I think from like lifting all that time, just too heavy. I think my neck's a mess. That's what I think. Doesn't matter, but let's get to it. I'm going to just spend some time here because I think we should. So we can take a look at what's going on here. And I should have this thing scrolling on the bottom. And I got a bunch of monitors in front of me. I'm going to throw this out while I'm thinking about it. You're going to really want to watch two names today. If I could say anything that could be of value, it's going to be this. So let me just pull this up real quick. This is such an awesome quote. Waitlist is back open, and I'm going to send out invitations. And then I'm raising the price in January, definitely. It's probably going to be almost double. If you're in, you're in. If you're not, you're not, which is fine. But I'm just talking out loud when I'm thinking about it. Two names you need to watch today. I'm going to put this out there while I'm thinking about it. Watch these today. Reddit wants to go higher, and Peloton people don't understand the story. Just watch these today. If I have time, I'll put more stuff down there. Let's get to it. So we're there. So the very first thing I want to do is just show you a couple things. So we're going to go to plane for a second. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop a line on the 12. And then I'm going to drop a line on the 22. And what you're going to see by doing this is you can see them right here, right, where I'm putting those levels. So this is 45, where this should be. All right, and you can see that 43. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Really? Thank God I wasn't a surgeon. And you can see them right here. So you can see them right here. I should change that color. And then again, I'm going to put this one right here. All right. And then, of course, you got to remember that these bars and what's developing here, especially on the SPY, you're getting a massive control bar. So, but let's go to this. Let's go look at the hourly, and then we're going to drop this to a bear chart, and then we're going to go there, clean this off, and then we're just going to drop this down. And I just want to show a couple things that I think are important. Now we're getting aggressive with these. They're everywhere. I'll drop this one here because that's going to be important. But if you come to that 45 straight across and just watch that level for a second, you will see all this in here straight across, right? So if we break, this is where you're going, down here, if we break. And this is really important for people to get. I'll show you why. I don't know, like if I take this 12, watch when I take this 12, what happens. See how that's sitting right here? I know people use a 10, a 20. I use a 12, a 22, and 55. You should use what you're comfortable with. But what's starting to happen here, and we talked a little bit about this, and that's why I'm spending time on it today. You're seeing some of these break, and they're not breaking to the good side. So what do I mean by that? Give me a second here, because I think I forgot to do something, and then I think I'm going to sneeze. RBLX, just for the person that reached out and just sent me a message, they have a massive short position in there. People got Hindenburged, so it is what it is. Not everything they short goes up, or goes down rather. Although they did nail a couple names. They did nail Uncle Carl, which makes me sad, but then they did nail SMCI, which might be the WorldCom of our decade. But anyway, I just want to talk about what I see going on here and where the risks are. So we talked about these higher lows, and then how rising wedges end in what tiers, right? And this one obviously did, and we can see that if this could work with me, not against me, right? So you can see that level right there. Okay, so you got there, you made a decision, and you got slopey, so you broke. Now, once you broke and you realize that, okay, well, that's got me to this level, there's the 22. The very first thing you want to watch about that 22, if you come across, is watch this and watch how this comes across and where that fits right in there. All right. And that's really important to get. And then we'll go from there. So, all right. Okay. I can't do this right now. Hold on. I have time for your nonsense. If you break here, and then you come down, you can see it pretty clearly, right? All right. So I would watch both those levels really closely and watch how you act at both of them if you get over it. What I think you're going to do is my thought, if we rally, you're going to rally up to this and you're going to reject. So what I tend to do with this is I just want to know where that is, and I'll put like a little alert there. If you break here, you really don't have much down here over this little period of time. And I just want to point that out. So like everything's up there, right? Like everything. Oh my God. Squatted today, I'm a mess. So if you break here, I think you got 50 points fast, like fast. So there's nothing here, nothing from that point on. Now, some people say, well, you're picking your spots. And I'd say, okay, boomer. So let's go back, and what we'll do is we'll go back even further, right? And we'll go back to this level. We'll go back to the quarter, which will be July 30th, right? So that'll be June 30th right here. And we'll go to the quarter, and we'll just drop the same thing. We'll just drop it like it's hot, all right? And if you look, you're in this window, and you could say, yeah, from that area over here, yeah, you could have some from the quarter perspective, but you don't really have any major support to a point of control till you're at 5,700. So I would argue that I'd be more front loaded with the month than I would with the quarter, because if you want to talk quarter, your value high is like 57.20, which you held. You see that blue line? That's your value high of the quarter. And then your point of control is 57 roughly before you see anything. So yeah, you could say, well, when we get in here, you do have some stuff on the quarter from back here. Yeah, you do. I'm just not sure, where I stand with these people, right? And then if I go just back to here and just to kind of give a different perspective, and you just look at it from this perspective and go, okay, well, here's the quarter, boomer, and we click on it, your volume weighted average is going to get me to 56.50. So I can come down and nothing's broken, right? Like nothing's broken. So, and you're going into non-farm payrolls tomorrow. And so please understand that. And I do think that you just want to be cautious here. Now, what we've been doing and what's been working optimally for us is just bobbing and weaving, getting in and getting out of names, like not playing games. There are certain names, in my opinion, that are setting up to have one heck of a day. I really think I'd love for this Reddit to sit still. I'm not sure I'm going to get that. I'm really not sure I'm going to get that with Reddit, but let's dive into this in just a little more detail so you can see what we're dealing with. So we know very clearly that 5,800 is the level. So if we break that today, again, we're going to want to know that, right? So you just put a little alert there for when it breaks. And I usually don't spend this much time on the indexes, but I think you're at a juncture. And I think it flipped. So one of the biggest things for me is when I see good news and we drop, it's a problem. Now, Microsoft was a disaster last night. We're going to get to some of these names, but Meta was not a disaster. Not by a long shot. NQ. Let's do NQ here. Not by any level whatsoever. And I'm going to just show you this again. And really here, and I've been yammering on about this forever. And I know guys that are futures traders that are in the room, and they talk about this level all the time. All they're doing is just keep shorting it, and they're killing it. But every single time, I mean, it's just been a home run trade to short that area over and over again. I think they've done it, I don't know how many times at this point, honestly, but just watch. I mean, it's over and over and over again. Every time hits short, 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 short. Look here. Tries, fails. Watch when you get to a 30. Breaks, rallies, breaks. Rallies, tries, retest, breaks. Tries, fails, tries, fails, tries, fails. So that is the demarcation line of the NASDAQ. Now, if we just even drill it even quicker, like it's just so obvious that this is your area. So this becomes your resistance. Great. All right. Now let's go to here. And I think having a macro overlay right now is really important. See this slope? Like this sucks. Like we need to base. That's the technical term, sucks. Like you need to base, and you're not basing. You're doing this. So what I'm really doing is as I'm hitting higher highs, the magnitude of the move, which is what RSI is, pardon my voice, is actually getting worse. And that could be because we're going into an election and you have a Fed meeting, but you're seeing signs here that you don't want to see. And, I'm not just going to point out when things are rosy. You see this undercut? Like, that's not great. Hold on. See that right there? Like, that's not groovy. I've seen groovy before. It doesn't look like that. So that's a concern of mine. And I just want to go through this stuff because, I am always bullish because I just like to be bullish, but I do look at what's actually going on. And this does become a concern because you have some things here that if they go wrong, you only really have like one or two linchpins in this market. And if you lose them, this gets ugly. So we just want to be cognizant of that during the day. And I know it's just a pre-market, but the more I look at this, the more I felt compelled. The more I felt compelled to say something. So again, if I go here and do this, just the simplest of things and go, okay, well, where's that level 2045, 58 right there. And then if you looked here and said, well, where's the 22? And that's going to be at that 20, 30, 65, 30, yep, 65. Right, and go from there. And of course, you'd have this level down here. And we could just mark that off as 19.9. Now, I don't know that you have anything crazy you have to worry about, but let me show it to you this way and go to a bear chart. And let's just drop this down and so that you can see where you're at, right, on your averages. So there's your 12, which you can't get above. So what you'd want to do is realize that you were wedged in here, right? And how I would look at this wedge is simple. I put an alert here so that I'm notified immediately. I thought I did that. Let's do it again. All right. Okay, there it is. Yay. And then what I would do, I'm not going to put an alert there because of where I'm at. But if I break under this and make a lower low here, like I'll just show you this, because they made it so simple. Like that's the one thing about this. They made it so simple. See right here? Like all you have to do is, okay, if you break this, you have to realize that down here is on the menu. And if you break this and you start challenging that upper channel or that rising wedge rather, you have a problem. And so you're going to want to watch that. And then you start saying, well, where's that problem lead? And I'll be like, oh, I'm glad you asked. So if we go to here and go, where's that problem lead? I don't think you really have much down here, right, from this peak. So you go to the peak and you just drop that like it's hot right there. And then you go, okay, well, where does that get us? Well, point of control is right here. So that gets you probably to point of control or something in here, right? So could you retest, 20,000 or in there? Yeah, you could. It looks like 20,067 is point of control. So yeah, you could. If you slice this, if you slice this to get to that other point right here, which just happens to fit right on point of control, yeah, that would be your target. And why it might not seem like much, but if you go to, roughly where you're at, which is 86 right now, we'll just go to there and drop it down, it's 1.5%. And I think it could happen pretty fast. So I think it's worth bringing up today, and it's why I'm bringing it up. I'll get into some names. I'm more interested in the contra trades today, but I think you have to have one foot out the door today as you're watching this stuff. I really do. At least that's where my head is with it. So in regards to specific names, Reddit crushed. And we saw this yesterday and we saw it rally. I tried to put an order in, a market order yesterday. I couldn't even get filled. Maybe the order size I don't know. I don't know what it was, but for whatever reason, I couldn't get filled. I literally was trying to buy at market, didn't care where the price was, could not get in the trade. What kills me is I owned it at 102 pre-market and I blew it out because it didn't hold and broke my level, but that's the game. You got to honor your game. So it is what it is, but people should know that happens when you honor your positions. Let's clean this off for a second, get into this. No one wants to miss, and I'm not saying it is, so just bear with me. No one wants to miss the next meta. Nobody. Okay. So they're going to pay up for this and they're going to pay through the nose. All right. They're going to chase any kind of performance right now. All right. So especially something like this that's on Reddit, why they're talking about it. I know it can't get more meta than that, but that's how they're going to look at it. And I'd watch these levels very, very closely. I would prefer a pullback of some kind. I don't know that I'm going to get it. I really don't know that you're going to get it. So I would watch this very, very closely. I've been whacking it around. I don't really have a real swing trade position here yet, but this could be a massive trade, like massive. A lot of people are, looking at like Meta 10 years ago and go, oh, geez, I could have bought this at 40. It's at 600. I should buy Reddit. And don't get me wrong, Reddit crushed. Like they absolutely crushed. So I do think there's something there. I do think you need to pay attention to it. I do think it's worth your time. And I want to talk about Peloton as well, because I think that there's something there too. I really do. And I think that you got a new CEO now. We're at 8.5 this morning. It might be out of your range now. We bought this thing at I forget what we paid. What did we pay? $6.35. You might want to sleep on this one now. You might not want to play it now. This is David Einhorn. A lot of people probably don't even know who that is. So every year he does the Robinhood Foundation JP Morgan conference. And this was his #1 idea for next year. David Einhorn, as a bottom-up investor, meaning he doesn't care what the market does. He just looks at names. It's where I'm top down. I go index sector stock. He just goes stock, performance, right? Looks for the turnarounds. If this dips and you start getting something down like 730, I would look at it. I don't know that I would chase this. So I didn't think it moved like that, but it must be going on the call still. Yeah, it's starting to lift on the call. But you have a new CEO. This guy's going to rock it, turn it around. I actually think they try to market it and sell it like Fitbit to like Apple or somebody, or Amazon. You know, get Amazon Prime for free on your Peloton bike, or somebody, not Google, but every time Google tries to buy something, not when you're an antitrust, you're not going to, do anything. But somebody buys this thing, I think, and it fits perfectly in there. But this is what you're saying today. You probably 975 is probably your level, and then we'll go from there. So that's kind of where my head is. But the more I think about it, I mean, you're up so much now. I don't know. I don't like chasing this kind of stuff because you're going to get wild swings. So just keep that in mind. It moved too much before I brought it up. I probably should have brought it up then. And then we'll go from there. In regards to the cues, let me just go through this so that you can understand like where my head is. You have two levels here that I think are significant. And we'll just go through this. But so that you can see what's going on. And again, I'm not sure that you're just going to rally back up, but everyone can see this up here, like 501. It's really, to me, that 500 level. This failed. Tried, open, tested, failed. Like, it doesn't get any cleaner than that failed to get over 500. It truly doesn't. So you have to almost go on the assumption that whenever you get to this level, and that's pre and post, that you're just failing. And then you're going to get to that 491 level, which is right down here, right? And you've been failing. But it's really like 491 3/4, something like that. But we might as well just use this little level because that seems to be the area. And that's really how I would view it. But we'll just drop this here too, right there. And then we'll go from there. That's really the big levels for me. I don't know that you're going to get through this. I don't know. Maybe it's time to start becoming bottom up and just looking at individual names, right now. You've got some headway going into non-farm payrolls tomorrow. And I'd be real cautious on that, like really cautious. Because if it's hot, I mean, the thing is, I don't think they're cutting rates personally. I just don't think they're doing it. And I think the expectations are way out of whack there. And then you're going to go into the election. So, I mean, I don't know who in their right mind is going to commit lots of capital there. Let me just show you this as well on the SPY because I think this is important. But you're really looking at, like, say it right there. Right? You see the gap right there? Right? Bonk, bonk, bonk. Battleground fails. Battleground, battleground. Broke. So now you're going to try to get through that 578, 579, it looks like, really. And then if you come right there, you can see it as well. People might say it's lower. I would say that you just aren't be able to get through it. And obviously you have a level right here that's been a battleground too. So I think they're your big levels to the downside. I mean, you're really looking at a retest of that. I don't see how you don't retest this. I really don't. Do I have to worry about this? Yeah, you could, but I don't think it's that big a deal. I think the lower level's more that there, and I don't want to lose that. So I would just watch that and go from there. There is so much that I could go over, like just so much. But you guys have to, I'm going to take questions, I think. Other than that, I'm trying to see if there's something else. Why are you down there and not showing? Oh, because I have this here. Duh. Now you know. Come on, Boomer. Why isn't NVO down? Anybody know? Just because more sellers than buyers? I should probably put this on my screen since I own it. So, and go from there. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Yeah, maybe you get a shot at this thing to 730, something like that. All right, let's take some questions and go from there. 461 in the room. You'll note that I'm not even paying attention to economic data, probably, because you're going to have a changing, coming. So let's go. Let's get to it. Take a lot of questions today. What's up, Jacob, coming in? Garmin. Yep. So let's go through. Garmin looks great. Apparently, all the kids wear it now when they run around. I don't know where they're going, but they're wearing this thing now. Really hard to look at that and not want to be involved. I mean, but I need to pull back, man, or set up again. So like when I have something like this, and it's really like this is really the Reddit trade, and I hate doing power earning gaps because they're so subpar. But this is really what I need with these kinds of things, Jacob. I'll show you. So I need what I won't say need. I'm rephrased, change my language. I want an inside bar like this, right? That's what I want. And then I want this. And what I want from that is then the ability to buy this breakout using that as a low. Because right now, this has to be the low. Right now, you can get in there. That's what I want with these kinds of names. Same thing with Reddit. That's really what I run. I'm hoping I get that today. But when I look at like Garmin, like where's your stop? I mean, you really have to go out there and go, okay, well, this is where we traded after hours, and there really wasn't any volume. So like I could still put it here, but it's not even going to matter. It's going to be it's going to be really close to like this, right? So because there's no volume, so it doesn't matter. But if you look at that, like maybe I could use that as a stop, the VWAP from the time that the earnings were announced, maybe. And so that puts your stop at what? Because I'm always just trying to quantify risk, right? Okay, so now I've got a $2 stop. You could try that. You could try this, the 196, something like that. I don't know, man. Maybe if you came down to here, I'd have an interest in getting involved and going from there. ADP, I think will do really well. I'll tell you why. People have jobs. Like people, as much as people complain about like what things cost, the economy's booming. So it just doesn't look like it, which is crazy because of inflation. That's a whole other conversation. We do that for hours. I don't know. I think Garmin looks better. Look, this looks like it's going to be an absolute monster trade. This is just crazy to me. I remember this when nobody thought it was ever going to work. I mean, it's just crazy where some of these things have gotten to. You're not up 10x, you're up 100x. So, but again, when you look at something like this, I think it looks great. I really do. I don't know that you can just print it today. I think it puts you in a different spot where you have to kind of look at Expedia and think that maybe Expedia is the trade today. You still have the overhang, like Uber's going to buy Expedia. Maybe that's what he's talking about, and that's why it's down. They really like that guy, the CEO worked at Expedia. And so I think that they're thinking that maybe that's what's going to happen. I don't know, man. I don't know what the thought process is there, but I think that makes the most sense, right? To kind of play the next one. I mean, do I really want to be buying bookings up 5% today? I don't know. It's probably up more than 5%, right? What are you up? What are you up, Boomer? Where are you going? 5.5. Yeah, I can still do math. I can do stuff. ABBV. Well, might as well do them all. Yeah, I mean, same thing. You probably have huge volume. Same setup. I need like the 3-bar setup and kind of go from there. I'd probably put those in a line and look for like a 3-bar setup like that. No, I don't think any of it's a factor. I think the only thing that's a factor is what the Fed does, and I don't think the Fed's going to do anything. The Fed should do nothing, is really what they should do. Happy Halloween, Lisa. Reddit looks like a beast, dude. Absolute beast. Like, I think I could be an absolute monster. Texas Roadhouse. Let's go look at some Texas Roadhouse. Never been there. Is it good? I think the last steakhouse like that I was at was Outback. I think that's kind of like a Texas Roadhouse, right? Do they have like a bloomin' onion? They stole that from the Aussies, didn't they? Steal everything. It's too thin for me, but I like it. I like the pattern, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're too far off now. Anyone going to ask about SFM and why it just keeps beating earnings over and over and over again and going higher? Like every earnings, it's just crazy. What's going on with eggs? I think gold's going a lot higher, by the way. While I'm thinking about it. Microsoft's a disaster. They're so out of position. And their comments, it could bounce on valuation, but their comments are so out of position. I actually think it's presenting an opportunity, and I think it's been presenting an opportunity, and I think it was an opportunity last night to buy Meta. Meta being up today would not remotely surprise me. It would not, I'm just being blunt, like it wouldn't shock me at all. They crushed. If you really went through those numbers and you realize that they hardly raised CapEx, they are very well positioned here. I don't know that I would really be, it's kind of interesting too, because like look at the 7 o'clock level. I think retail's right on this. If you bought from when retail got involved at 7, you're up, what, 15 points already? Watch the curl. And you always got to watch these, man. Hold on, that's wrong. But you always got to watch these. Like, here's your first 5-minute bar. Did you ever break it? You never broke it. You never broke. Ever. What you did do is you sold down, but you never broke that 5-minute bar. This would not surprise me if this went up today, like not even remotely. So I'm interested in this. I think they're grossly wrong about this being down, but we'll say. I also think that they're extrapolating too much out. I mean, you're going to find out with Amazon tonight if they are or not. But I think that Microsoft's getting their butt kicked. And I think that they have the wrong strategy. That's what I think is happening. His comments yesterday, the CFO's comments were just, they were like, this is what did it. But they were so obviously like, oh, we're not growing because we don't see this demand. And like just literally throwing VCs under that are buying like NVIDIA chips. It was so obvious what he's doing. And the CEO has to have his pay lowered. Like, who does that? You know who does that? Someone that's worried about their job because they screwed up their strategy, because they hooked their wagon to OpenAI. And I think that's going to be the bane of large language models, but that's just me. OPRA. But that wouldn't surprise me at all, John. Earnings or no? Are we talking about something that doesn't have earnings? I don't understand what you're saying to me right now. I don't know enough about the earnings. I didn't see it. I love patterns like this. They just need to build and work their way higher and give me a way in. But I don't know enough about it. Yeah, DJT will be all over the place. Happy Halloween from the Bronx. Happy Halloween from Miami. What's up, Steve? Right, it's a monster. It's going to be a monster trade. How's inflation screws the middle class? There it is. Good morning from Miami. What's up, meow? What's up, Mike? What do you got? ATEC. Yeah, it's moving. Congrats. I guess earnings better than expected, I guess. Good morning from Australia. Got a couple guys from Australia in here. Good morning from Miami. Let's do this uranium room. I think it's going higher, dude. I thought it was a good report. I really do. What's up, Tariq? Yeah, I mean, people got Hindenburged. They think that everything that this guy tells them is that's going to go down is just going to go down. It's not. But that's the game, right? So it is what it is. I mean, they probably crushed. I haven't seen it. I don't know why I thought it was tonight. I haven't seen it. They haven't updated it. I've been too busy with my own stuff. I've got some that did well in earnings. I got others that didn't do well. So like I'm just, going through my own crap. But they might come in and hammer it. They might try to short it today, and they might put pressure on it. I think there's better shorts out there today, but boom, boom, boom. Dash is going to be a beast, dude. Dash has delivery on lockdown. It's way better than Uber Eats. It's so much better than Uber Eats. I don't know how I missed this last night. Is that on my list? If not, I'm going to be infuriated. This is me being infuriated. I'm going to start putting my own earnings whisper out because theirs sucks. They're not looking at it correctly. They should have different names out there, picking the ones that they think are notable, and what they think is notable isn't notable. I noticed that the other day. What do you got for me? What are we doing? What's happening? Great. Oh, good. Thank you. Thanks, Vic. They're a beast. So I don't cook. I have a meal prep service, and then I DoorDash over Uber. It is so much better. If you buy from DoorDash and you're like, oh, I need paper towels. You press the button with it, and they have it at Dashmart, and the Dasher literally grabs those, goes get your food, and also brings you your stuff. I don't know how Walgreens and CVS are going to survive. I really don't, unless they partnered with somebody like an Uber or something like that. Because unless you're going to be on the pharma side, but on the pharma side, you just do it online. Here's my prescription. I don't have to go in. Just send me my prescription every month. I think DoorDash is. I think they have it. There's a couple things that are like moats. I think that's one of it. Right? There's a couple out there that are just moats, and I think that's one of them. Root. So you have a huge short here. It's funny. I looked at this at 68. I just didn't do it. You have a huge short position in here. You're in the right space. This is what this thing does on earnings. It is what it is. It just, here's earnings, and then all of a sudden it was 12, and then it went to what? 90. Then you had earnings, and it went to 90, and then it went all the way back to 40. You never know what you're getting with this thing. Just don't be there when the music stops. Don't be there when the music stops. But it is what it is. I mean, they were supposed to lose money. They made a buck. They crushed. So, they're supposed to lose money, and they lost half of what they're supposed to lose. So I don't know, man. You just you don't know what you're going to get there. So obviously they think it's really good. You might just look for a setup today and then trade the setup. That's probably not the worst idea. I should put this in the top 10 as something to trade today. I like trading this stuff on days like today because I'm just playing hot potato till the election's over, really. It's new to them, man. Yeah, I speak on the losses. I do. I mean, I do it all the time in the room. You have to. Like, I mean, people act like it doesn't happen. Yeah, dude, that's going to be huge. It's it's absolutely huge. I didn't look at GDDY. No, I did not yet. But you're going to get stopped and stuff's going to go higher. You can buy it again. I don't know. Is it up a lot, down a lot? I don't know. It's not really doing anything, is it? I'm not going. What's to talk about? What's it doing? What's happening? Nothing. It did okay. I mean, I didn't hear the report. I don't know anything about it. It's not on my list again, which is exhausting. I should do more of that. I actually want to do more lives where I take questions like that. What do you got? What's wrong? It's 9 o'clock. Where does our time go together? No one has win rates like that. You might have win rates like that for a period of time, dude. You might have win rates like that. If you're in our community, no one should be talking like that. You can go on runs like that, but it's not accurate. It's unsustainable. The best guys in the world, 55, 60, then they're the best in the world. Lily, you had a ton of buying come in yesterday. I'm going to have to jump here, guys. Lily had a ton of buying come in yesterday. You might want to see if you have follow through today, but look at this volume. Like, you had a bunch of people that said, thank God. Like, look at that volume. I mean, you don't have anything like that unless you go to here, which is like 52, but that just said, thank God I get to buy it. Yeah, hit the like button. Maybe we should start doing that as like a thing for entry. I do cut losses very quickly. People in the room are usually shocked at how quickly I cut them. Is that same as DoorDash? Is that what it is? Grab. They should make a bigger deal about it. They should just have employees that run stuff all day long. They really should just have their own employees just like run and deliver stuff. You have the stores, like why wouldn't you just have a like your own dasher in every store and then just keep them busy all day long? Have one person set the orders. You go out with the orders every 2 hours and just drive. It's crazy. I do cut them quick. People are usually shocked how fast I cut them. What else you got? Dell. MSTR is fine, but it's a short today, I think. I don't like Apple for earnings. I think Apple's very confusing for earnings. Very confusing. What do I want to go over Dell? I'm short Dell. I shorted it yesterday. I'll show you where. I'll show you why. So you see this level right here? All right. So that's one of the levels that was of interest. But here, watch. Another one was a little further down right here. But what we did, and that's a 4 hour. Let me show you on the 15. There's another one here, and I'll show it to you. Right there. So you're wedged in here. Rejection, 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 bonk, bonk, bonk. I'm not going to draw them all, but watch. Right. So, and there's another one. There's actually a micro one too. But what it did was it got through one of these other levels that I was watching up right here. And then I just waited. And then see this bar? Once this happened, we shorted it. I still have puts. So this bar, when it didn't break that 50%, right? If it broke over 50%, I might have closed some of it, but it didn't. And then it just was a disaster to the end of the day. And I stayed short. It's got no reason being up. Up because someone else is going to be a dumpster fire is just stupid. Doesn't make any sense. So, I'll probably close them off the open because they expire tomorrow, but it is what it is. I got to jump, guys. Trade to win today. The economic data is not on my front. Tomorrow is. Non-farm payrolls will be huge tomorrow. You're predicted to move like 1.5%. I'll cover it tonight.